Hello. How's everyone? Only two of you, three of you. I just installed like a new vinyl for my balcony, my mom's house. It's like a rainbow colored one off Temu. It's so pretty. It has like a prism effect. So it adds like this pattern on the floor, like almost like a chandelier. The light shines through. It's so nice. I just started doing it on both sides. So nice. Oh, you can even see it. It's so bright. My mom only makes like $16,000 a year off her disability payments, and somehow she afforded this house. It's still a struggle. Like she's on she's had a lot of debts. So I'm trying to show her that I'm grateful and taking care of this space, and like I added a new doorknob. It's from the Briggs Money Company, the money trucks. It's a square knob, which was something I've never installed before. I had to use power tools, so it was quite interesting. And one thing with square knobs is you have to level them. So I use my level pen from Indigo to kind of measure it, because at first it was like crooked. So now I get why people prefer the round knobs versus the square ones, because the square ones you actually have to look at it. The round ones you don't have to level. So learning experience for myself. What about you guys? What's new? Maybe you'll go around in the circle before we start. I'll pick on the first person. Harry.
Yeah, nothing new, just a lot of schoolwork. But in terms of like the actual fundraising, I'm pretty much done now. Like I put a lot of work on it this week because I had a little bit of spare time. But yeah, it's pretty much done now. So yeah, it wasn't too rough this week.
Okay, that's good. I was checking all the documents on Google. Some of you are not doing the weekly status update reports on a weekly basis. I don't know if you're behind or you're just not really doing it. It's not something you're used to doing. I would strongly encourage you to like continue that practice just for yourself professionally, even if you're in school, like not just for this project, but in general. Like it helps to kind of like center your thoughts and like what it is that you accomplished, because school can become a blur, work can become a blur, like personal life can also become a blur. So it helps to also alleviate early signs of dementia, because if you're getting really stressed in school and like later on in life, it could cause you to get dementia. So like I do journaling. I also do like status reports. I have a whole thing on Notion where I like keep my memory sharp. So it's a strong practice that I encourage everyone to like continue even after you're done this. And I was trying to get that habit instilled, but it takes at least 60 days for you to completely instill a habit in your memory. So I don't expect that to happen here and during this Brighton project, but just a fun tip for future. So thanks for your update. And if you're not also uploading your documents to the Google Documents, please make sure you're emailing me your deliverables on a weekly basis. Some of you have already done that, and I've reviewed some of your work, and some of your work is really great. Aria, I saw yours. I think it was my favorite of the bunch. Um, I, Catherine also really did a good job on hers. Um, and a beer who's not here. I saw his work too. It's like really, really good. So if you want to check out their work on the Google Doc, just get an idea of like what I'm liking so far. Those are three examples you can take a look at. So Harry, do you want to pick on the next person?
Yeah, the next person on my list is Aria.
Oh, thanks, Sylvia, for the compliments. This week, I have a draft of the starter guide infographic for the new renters in Ontario. And I have it on Canva, so I might just upload it onto the Google Docs so you can see it as well. And I also have a draft of a reference guide for like first time renters with a bit more details than the infographic about rights and responsibilities. And that's already on the shared Google Doc, so you can take a look. And then for this week, I had some challenges in Roblox because initially, like last week, we discussed making a brochure. But over the weekend, I kind of discovered like it was a bit hard to fit everything into just a brochure. So I kind of wanted to make a reference guide just so there's something for you to see. And yeah. And then as for next steps and the plan for the upcoming week, I'm looking to my team right after this meeting and kind of figure out what potential next steps are and what each of our progress looks like.
Sounds good. We actually had like the soft hard deadline, soft line. I don't know what you call it, but they ripen notes yesterday as like the deadline. And then this is the days leading up to the finish. So like you're supposed to hand in your stuff like yesterday, and then I review it, edit, give you feedback. So I don't know if you want to do it that way or if you guys work differently. I'm open and flexible with whatever you guys want to do for this, but you have to finish on the 31st of March. If you don't submit your work, you won't be eligible for future projects with Ripen. You're allowed a maximum of 3 unpaid projects. So you can make, how much money is that? 24,000 plus another 14 is 38,000? 33,800. Sorry, my brain is still fuzzy. I think that's correct math. That's how much money you can make during your school term with Ripen. So please do take it seriously because it also affects the reputation of the Ripen program. So if you are not doing your work, you're making it look bad for everyone else that's using that as a work experience and putting it on their resume. I had that issue when I was looking for a job and I mentioned the Ripen program and they immediately ended the deal. And we're just giving money away to people for free. And which was not true in my case at all. I did a lot of work. I tracked my hours and all my internet's unstable. So just like for reference and like just for a note there, just please don't not take it seriously because it does affect other people when you don't. That's my only comment there. But thank you, Aria, for your update. And I really liked your work. I saw the draft. I started reading some of the cases from the tribunal and very useful information. I hope it's also useful for you because I know you said your boyfriend's family is a landlord business too in Vancouver. So maybe you can translate that for BC as well for yourself.
Yeah, it's
like
definitely very useful.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you can go ahead and pick the next person.
Yeah, Catherine, do you want to go next?
Thank you for the compliment as well, Sophia. And for any updates on my personal life, I guess just school's just really busy right now. We're kind of approaching like finals, kind of like in a few weeks. So everything's a bit stressful, a bunch of deadlines right now. But other than that, it's kind of the same. So any summary for my work completed, I just summarized some of my research again. And I also played around with Canva as well to come up with a design and to look for templates for my infographic. And I ended up picking a template because I feel like designing one would take up too much time. And I was just configuring some information on my infographic. And I'll probably send an email of my updated infographic to you. And I'm also brainstorming for like a booklet or a handbook. I don't know if I'll have enough time to complete it or I might just make another infographic. But yeah, that's basically my update for this week. Oh, sorry, Sophia, you're muted.
I pressed the wrong button. Thanks so much for your update, Catherine, and I appreciate your work as well as everybody else's and Aria's too. I understand sometimes it's a bit more stressful with exams in school and everything. So I don't live on your side of the province. You guys are in BC too, so I also appreciate that you're here. It's a bit earlier for you with the time zone. Yeah, just keep doing what feels good for you in terms of capacity and I'm open, flexible too, so don't worry about it. you can pass it on to the next person.
I'll pass it on to Sophia.
Okay, so in terms of life updates, there's really nothing new. It's just school. It's the same thing as Catherine said. It's just getting more and more stressful. That's why I'm trying to like really get this done, and I have gotten a lot done. So this week I basically completed my infographic, and for next week I plan on creating like a Q&A, at least like document with commonly asked questions. That was kind of my plan, like an infographic and a Q&A section, and potentially a brochure. I see what Catherine was saying about it's really difficult to actually put all that information in a brochure, but I'm gonna try my best. And in terms of the status, I'm definitely on track, and we're gonna meet today after this meeting together. So we'll see kind of the direction we're headed. And I'm already seeing what everyone has done so far in my group. And I wanted to ask you, Sylvia, should I because I completed my infographic already, should I submit that on to Ripen? Like, will I be able to submit more than once, say next week, the Q&A document as well? Or should I just like submit all that at one time later on?
I don't know for sure. I've never done this before. It's my first time working with you
Okay.
guys. So it's a trial and error thing, but I would like it emailed to myself because I don't
Okay.
really check the Ripen platform, to be honest, that often.
Okay.
I am checking it now because I'm also working with US schools, and we're working on different things like Bitcoin investments and nutrition and different things for like based on like women's health, which is not an area that's been researched before. So there's a lot. I still have to check Ripen every so often to accept schools that want to work with me and like applications for students. So that's I'm trying to do that around like the morning time. But I don't always get to it. Like sometimes I get distracted and I start doing renovations. So yeah, I would like you to email it to me first because when I get an
Okay.
email, it kind of sets like a task list for me. I know when it was sent, and then I can kind of work my way up to find yours. Whereas
Okay.
if you submit it to Ripe, it kind of gets lost into this like vortex, and I don't check it, and then it gets lost.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my
I'll email
preference,
it to you then. Okay.
yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. Okay.
You can pass it on
Okay.
to the next person.
The next person, uh, Ruthlin?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're good.
Okay, in terms of life update, I've just been busy with school. I'm working on group papers and presentations which are coming up next week. And for the project that I'm working on, I'm currently working on Deliverable 3, which I should be done by Sunday. And then I'm gonna work on my presentation and make a pre-recorded video and send it to Sylvia by next week. That's it.
Sounds good. Yeah, I just wanted to also confirm, how are you guys? Like, are you setting up a meeting with me? Would you like me to set up a meeting? Like, do you want to just submit via email? Do you want to have a meeting? Do you want to just like end off where you are? Like, what's your preference? I've been having meetings with some people that have already finished and completed their work, and we did like a Zoom or a Google. But I'm again open and flexible. If you want to just do an email with a pre-recorded video of your presentation, if you want to do it like a PowerPoint or a handbook or whatever, it's up to you. So please let me know what your preferences are. And yeah, if you want a meeting with me, you have my Calendly link in my signature. So I'll send out another email just to remind you guys if that's something you want to do. If not, just ignore it, it's fine. And you should be okay. Ruthlin, do you want to, thanks for your update as well, and hope everything else is okay. You can pass it on to the next person.
Hanan.
Hey Sylvia, so nothing much is going on, just school like everybody else. In terms of deliverables and stuff, I just completed week 4 today. I submitted it earlier, and basically I just need to do the final report and the presentation. I don't have any like roadblocks. I just wanted to ask for the report. Do you have like a template or something we can use for it?
You're doing the fundraiser one. I saw
Yeah.
your deliverable in the email box today, the inbox. I haven't looked at it yet. There is a research template going around for other projects. I don't know if I added one for you guys. That's a good question. Let me check. Because it's kind of different. You're doing like a fundraiser. But I think there was one because I don't know who I was talking to. We were talking about events and like planning a fundraiser event and then like looking at cost of holding an event in the hill. Yeah, there is one here inside of the link.
Isn't that one more like for the GoFundMe?
Yeah. What was your focus? Were you looking at YouTube or the newsletters? What was your focus?
I decided to focus on the newsletter.
The newsletter?
Yeah.
Okay, I can add one for the newsletter and YouTube too, because I'm also building this as I'm working with you guys. I've never done this before. This is my first time.
Okay.
Adding things as we go along. So if something's missing, it's missing. Like that's my fault. So I'll add it. And I take full responsibility for that if it's not there. And if you let me know, then I can add it. But if you don't let me know, then we're all kind of lost, including myself, because again, like I have a lot of stuff going on. My eyes still twitching from yesterday. I didn't even send an email yesterday to the other group because I was so stressed. So if it's not there, it's my fault. So that's number one rule of management that I learned working in insurance and finance, the cooperators. Management always takes the blame if something is wrong. So I take the blame. It's my fault. And I'll add it there once we wrap up this meeting. Thanks for pointing that out, Hanan. And also for submitting your work. I haven't checked everything, but I'll get to it as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you.
Pass it on to the next person. No worries.
Um,
Send it off to the next person.
Medha?
Okay, hi. So for this week, I basically am like wrapping up research. I like wrapped up research and I started like really honing in and like analyzing what I actually found and seeing like what would be the best uses and practices in cybersecurity via like AI models. So using that, I began to work on like the recommendations document. That's like one of the deliverables that like outline the best strategies for threat detection. But I'm also trying to finalize the actual research report, like trying to put that all together. And as far as challenges and roadblocks go, I didn't have much. Yeah, I didn't have many. I'm just trying to work through all the deliverables and stuff. And for next steps in the next week, I plan to finish the recommendations document, finish the analysis, and definitely finish the research report, and then maybe start the final presentation. But I realize I also have week 5 sort of for that, but I'll try to get that all done next week. And yeah, I feel like I'm on track, and that's basically it. Yeah.
I don't know if like I'm not seeing it or like it's not there. Maybe I deleted something. I have no idea. But I was looking on the Google Doc for the AI cybersecurity and I don't see any of the like deliverables in there. Were you guys emailing it to me or has nothing been delivered so far?
I don't think I just put my weekly, like, isn't that document
Status
just for the
report?
status
Okay,
reports?
because I was hoping to also see like some of the research that's being collected on the other Google Doc with the research template and the key deliverables that I created. Like I looked at under your name and other people's names and it's empty, which other people have like stuff in theirs. So
Oh, yeah, I
I
was
don't know if
confused about that too. I guess
I didn't explain it properly. Because that's
I d-
also possible.
because I thought we were going to, I guess I thought we were going to submit the weekly reports in this, but I saw there's nothing there, so I just didn't
Yeah,
put it.
I also confused you guys because at first I said, oh, put it all together, and then I said, no, let's do it separate. So I was hoping to see something in this like original Google Doc with that was made specifically for the cybersecurity one versus like the weekly status report. Everyone is submitting their stuff in there. So
Mhm.
is that something you guys can work on? Like, are you having trouble meeting as a group, or like what's the situation?
I
Is
haven't,
communication very poor?
I mean, we haven't really planned to meet, but so yeah, I can ask the others and like I can like we can put our work and stuff in the document. I didn't see anything in the documents. I didn't realize like what you wanted.
Yeah, I just noticed. So I think maybe I didn't communicate that, which again, I take fault for. So could
Yeah,
we
it's
just like
okay.
try to submit it in there too? Just because I do go and bounce around between the Google Docs to check like what people are writing and what they're working on. It just allows me for more transparency to see like, are we on the right track? Are we completely off? Do we need to kind of like look at other people's stuff to kind of get an idea of what we need to do or like what it should look like? Because I also don't know what it should look like. I added a research template in your guys' project. I was hoping we could use that as like the final document and make a presentation afterwards. But like again, first time working with private students, I don't know what this will look like. So this is also like testing a bit.
Yeah, and also so did you want us to email anything to you or just put everything in this document?
Yeah, like for the final submission, please email it to me for sure. Because then I can see what it's time stamped. It shows me like when you sent it, and then it'll go in order of like first come, first serve, like whoever sent it first. Oh, my internet's unstable. I don't know if you guys can even have my microphone on my yeah, just send me an email with your final submissions. If you're not meeting with me, if you are meeting with me, um, pick a time that it shows in my calendar or my Google link, and then we can set up a time to meet. But we should be wrapping up now. It should be like the 31st. It's going to be coming soon, so make sure you're doing something that's going to benefit you and your future in this area of research that you can show off in your resume and your job interviews. So thanks for the update, Meta. Just reach out to the other group members and see what's going on, and then let me know. Send me a message afterwards. You can pass it on to the next person who hasn't gone yet.
Um, did Rawad go? I'm not sure.
No, I did. Hi guys. So in terms of life, yeah, it's been busy with school like everyone else. We're approaching finals. It's just this couple of weeks we have to go through and then it's all done. Um, Other than that, in terms of the project, we've looked at Canva. I've let my mom play around with it a little bit just so she made a mock design and like of a placeholder for us to maybe start adding actual information. I was just waiting to meet with the team today after this meeting, to discuss and see if they wanted to use one Canva account or they wanted to each work on their own. Um, we
So sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Just given the tight timeline that we're heading into, I think it would be best to just use your individual accounts. I've done it before where I added team members, and then it was such a mess to remove people and like take their permissions away. So I would just keep it clean, keep it individual if you can.
yeah, sure. Okay then, sounds good. Yeah. In terms of next week, I plan to, pick up the pace, make sure the designs are like either done or almost done because we only have 3 weeks or couple weeks, I believe. Um, and then yeah, I plan to just, start designing the infographic and the brochure and hopefully have it done by Sunday or, or so. Um, I'm on track. There isn't any roadblocks other than that one that I've mentioned. And that is figured by now. We will just use our own accounts. No additional notes. I don't have any other comments. Um, Is there anyone that hasn't went yet? I don't believe so. I think
I think
everyone has.
everyone went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at the
Yes.
calendar briefly. We don't have that much time. Weekdays, we have 6 weekdays left. If you're not working on the weekends on this project, you're just doing weekdays, you only have 6 days left. So there's no weeks. We're not talking weeks anymore. We're talking days
Hmm.
in terms of when this is going to wrap up. So just be mindful of that and use your time wisely and make sure your time be optimal. I mean, I'm not being optimal with my own time because it took me how many hours to complete this simple task? Like it's just a vinyl and you spray water on it, but I was so like scared to start. I didn't know where to start. But then once I started doing it, I noticed like it doesn't matter if there's mistakes, I can cut little pieces and add them. So I did that for this. You can't see it properly, but yeah, just like a lesson that I learned, like I didn't read all the instructions or anything. I just went on instinct and somehow it still turned out. So I don't want you guys to stress. Like it'll be fine. It'll turn out, but just make sure you're starting. Don't procrastinate too much because that can be an issue.
Got it.
All right. Thanks so much for your updates. I'll let you guys go. Thanks for meeting with me and have a great weekend and try not to stress too much. And I'm saying that advice to myself as well. So yeah, thank you, Catherine. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.